Is good, everyone. This is your host, Deanna Radulescu, with Label Free. To live your best life, you must live label free. And I'm back with another incredible guest. My next guest is a senior toxicologist and the founder of Superior Toxicology and Wellness, an international scientific consulting firm. He's got over 37 years of experience. Please welcome Dr. Joe Nieusma. Dr. Joe, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So I'll be honest, I've never had a toxicologist on the show, but I have talked a lot about health, wellness, big pharma, things of that nature. So this is going to be a real interesting conversation and see what you can teach us and maybe take some of the labels off.
Well, I'll tell you what, humans are asked to live in a soup of toxic exposure. And in my 37 years in toxicology, 27 years in pharma, I'm one of the first people to stand up and say drugs are not the answer. And I tell you that most people wake up and they find themselves in a situation called polypharmacy. They're on a ton of drugs and they don't know how they got there. And I'll tell you real quick, I offer a service, it's not free, but Dr. Joe for Hope, the number four, Dr. Joe for Hope, and it takes you right to a form where you fill out what drugs you're on, and I will come up with strategies to reduce, eliminate, replace with natural products or questions to challenge your physician as to why you're on these drug products. It changes lives.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I bet.
So I would just get that out there right away so all your listeners, they can go to Dr. Joe for Hope and
Yeah.
find that form if they find themselves on polypharmacy. But drugs aren't the
But
answer.
but a lot of
And it's
people
not the
do.
only toxic thing that we're exposed to.
Right. But a lot of people are because it's like
Yeah,
they start with one drug, then they come up with other things and they get another drug. See, I've take zero,
that's good.
zero.
That is
I'm
absolutely fantastic. It's the people go to multiple specialists,
yeah.
and in this day and age, doctors are only as smart as the latest drug rep that sat across their desk. And if most doctors, if they can't prescribe a pill, they don't know how to think about your problem. They're not holistic practitioners. They're not, let's look at your diet. They're not, let's prevent something. They want long-term customers on a
Right.
prescription.
Right.
And that's what they do. And each one of them gives you one or two, and you wake up one day just throttled with your morning meds, your afternoon meds, your evening meds, and let's hope that these meds don't interact with these meds. And
Yeah.
then you got bigger problems. And that's just the pharmaceutical side. That's not
Yeah.
what's in our water, what's in our air, what's in our food, what's in our environment. There's a lot of toxic stuff. So,
Yeah.
it's good that you finally had a toxicologist on your program.
Yeah. No, no, no. I love, well, I actually, I just had a gentleman, he goes by being the hydrogen man, and he was talking about like the toxins that are in our water and how like
Mhm.
he's helped change lives and help people get, and himself, he's a testimonial himself, get better by ingesting clean water
Oh, it's huge.
mixed with hydrogen.
Yeah, it's huge. And however you get to clean water, it's huge. What I
Yeah.
recommend people that are on a budget, just buy the zero water filter from Amazon or Target or some big box store and run your tap water through that filter. It's a five-stage filter. It's very good. Takes lots of the garbage out of water because your town, your municipality, that clean water plant, clean is not really clean. There's
Right.
still all kinds of stuff in it. So
Right.
if you take their product and run it through a zero water filter, that is a very inexpensive way to get better water. I do it. I have one on my countertop for room temperature water. I have one in my fridge and a little urn that for cold water.
Sure. Sure.
And that's what we do. Unless, of course, budget is no object, then put in a reverse osmosis system. I mean,
Yeah.
it's but
Yeah.
that's water. It cleans up one aspect. Because what you have to worry about is in toxicology, one of the biggest mantras is the dose makes the poison.
The
So
ghost makes the poison.
what that means is things that are exquisitely toxic, if you're exposed to them at low enough concentrations, no big deal. Or if something that's never toxic, you can be exposed at a high enough concentration and it will be a problem. Like for instance, cyanide. Everybody knows that cyanide is bad, it'll kill you. But it's used very safely in the gold mining industry. And
Oh,
then
wow.
water, for instance. Water is the universal solvent you need it for life. But if somebody is abusing the drug of abuse, ecstasy,
Yeah.
the toxic mechanism of that is extreme thirst. And people can actually drink themselves to death, drink so much water that it
I
dilutes
used to
their
take
electrolytes and
ecstasy back in
ruins
the
their
day.
cell communication.
Oh,
So there you
wow.
go. It's the dose makes the poison. So,
I did not know that. Well, I mean, I was just having fun. Like that was my early 20s. I was out partying and I loved ecstasy. Like that was probably,
hmm,
I mean, that was what I enjoyed it. I didn't ever get
doesn't
too
happen to
crazy,
everybody.
but you did get thirsty, you
Yeah.
know, and so I would have water and then I would drink, which I know you're not supposed to
And
drink on it.
it's,
So, you know,
see, that's the thing.
I was having fun.
Humans
Pardon?
are unique genetically, and everybody reacts to every toxic exposure differently.
Yeah.
For 37 years, I've been looking at human exposure to either drugs or chemicals or microbials or other toxins, things that you shouldn't be exposed to. I've specialized in dealing with how humans react to those toxicants. And it really boils down to a couple different mechanisms. It comes down to the things you're being exposed to, whether it's in your food or in your
Yeah.
water or in your air or in your environment, it results in oxidative stress and chronic inflammation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those two things, oxidative stress and chronic inflammation, are really the foundation of just about every
Yeah.
disease of the aged.
Yeah. I agree with that. And like it's almost impossible to live in a toxic free environment.
It is impossible
Yeah.
because you got to choose somewhere to live. And
Yeah.
whether it's rural or suburbia or urban areas, they each have their different air challenges.
Right.
You can combat that with an air purifier or a hydroxyl machine or a particle generator. You can combat that with trying to make your best choice. But then you also have to drink water, and that's based on your source water. And there's different things in everybody's different source water. And then you also have to make good choices at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Everybody says shop the periphery, eat raw, eat whole, and that's all very good. The best food advice I got it from about 15 years ago from a lawyer of all people. I was doing a deposition for him, and we were at lunch before the deposition, and he's like, the thing that I find, and it also follows tracks with another toxicological mantra of everything in moderation. He says, for food, eat half and mostly plants, and you'll be okay. And I'm
Eat
like,
half and mostly
that's
plants.
great advice.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's
So
interesting.
that's what I
So
always tell people.
yeah. So when we got these birds, so I'm sure most people know at this point, I have two parrots. You have to detoxify your home as much as possible because their respiratory system is so sensitive.
Yeah.
So I had all the nonstick, you know, Teflon pans. You cannot cook with those with the birds. You cannot have air fresheners with the birds. You cannot have like candles. They have to be soy-based candles. So what I found very interesting is when I made that switch and I started cooking with the toxic free or non-toxic pans, the difference that I felt almost immediately from cooking with them versus the Teflon non-stick. I was like, holy cow. Like, thank God for these birds.
Yeah.
Like I
You
would
know,
have never known. And that
yeah,
was
and the
like
thing
so
about it is, if you're exposed to 10 things that hurt you on a daily basis and you remove a couple of them, you're going to be better off.
yeah,
It's not about a toxic free environment. It's about a minimize the risk
right.
environment.
Yeah,
And that's all you can really hope to do is minimize the exposure because it's everywhere. And
right, right.
you clean up your water, you clean up your food, you clean up your environment, you still walk outside. The 5G energy from communications hits the same cellular defense systems in some people that all of this stuff does. It creates chronic inflammation and oxidative stress.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, you never know if you're going to be a massive responder or a minimum responder because you don't know until it happens. And the best you can
What does
do is
that mean? Can
try
you
to stay
explain it?
healthy.
Can you explain that minimum massive responder or minimum responder? I think I understand what that means, but can you tell the audience?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, just think about it when you have a headache. How many
Yeah.
ibuprofen do you take? Do you take one or do you take four?
Take two.
A one is like a drug sensitive person. You respond, you metabolize these chemicals and you get a better response. If you have to take four, then the drug has to kind of knock on the door and fill up everything before it gets to your head and relieves that headache. That's more of a slow responder. So it's a maximum versus a minimum response. And that happens with everything. That can happen with, actually, I'm getting into fire toxicology right now. I just submitted a paper on these homes that are smoked out but not burned to the ground, and insurance companies are saying you're fine. We wiped out all the ash, soot, and char.
Right,
Go
right.
back, move in
No
your house.
way.
And they aren't talking about the toxins and the furans and all the heavy metals that are all carcinogens. And you send somebody back in there, and you have a family, maybe their mom is living with them, maybe they have some young children, the older folks probably aren't going to see fire-related cancers in the rest of the time they have left. But the kids, they
Yeah.
have the most runway to develop adverse effects. So
Wow.
it's called a risky population, and it still is the elderly and the young, whereas the adults in the middle are generally healthy, but they still can have all kinds of reactions. They can have respiratory reactions, they can have oral GI reactions, they can have dermal skin reactions, and all of those routes of exposure come into play in these very toxic environments. And it's the dose makes the poison and
Yeah.
everything in moderation, but still, your environment can be incredibly toxic. There's lots of things you can do. You can
Yeah.
have your water filter, you can have your air purifier, you can eat clean, you can avoid the high areas of the telecommunication radiation, and you can get off of pharmaceutical products. And it's just about risk minimization.
Yeah.
But the best thing you can do, Deanna, is get out in front of your inflammation. You can
Yes.
control your antioxidants, and the best one for years and years and years was vitamin C until they discovered carbon 60.
What is
Now
it?
that's called carbon 60,
Carbon
and that
60.
is
Okay. I haven't heard of this.
170 sometimes more antioxidative than vitamin C. It's absolutely wonderful product. The whole now, if you get online and you Google carbon 60, you're going to find articles that say, don't use this, it's bad for you, it's going to hurt you. And those
There's
articles,
articles about everything that say that.
they're all correct though. It's a very buyer beware market. And with carbon 60, the poor quality products will have impurities in the carbon. So you need to make sure you're using ultra pure carbon 60. And then they will also be processed with solvents. So you'll have solvent toxicity and you'll have side chain toxicity. There is one company out there that does ultra pure carbon 60, and they do solvent free processing, and that company is livelongerlabs.com. And that's the one that I push, and I'm their toxicologist per se. You get on their website and you'll find me talking about how it works, and the benefits of getting in front of inflammation and stopping all of that inflammation, because it protects cellular health.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you protect cellular health, you protect tissue health and organ health and human health. We're trillions of cells, but when you boil it down and make it very simple, say we're a one-celled organism, we have a bucket of protective mechanisms. Everybody's heard of glutathione. Glutathione
Yes.
is a poster child for protective mechanisms. And you can keep glutathione levels very healthy through very easy to do things like getting exercise, eating clean, staying hydrated, and getting enough rest.
Oh, okay.
Rest is critical
Yeah.
because all bodily healing occurs when you're resting. So you need to make sure you get enough sleep. And then the second critical thing is hydration.
Yeah.
And then it's just rest, hydration, sleep, and then activity. And really, everybody can do this.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And
You just have to want to.
yeah, and if you're having trouble with that, there's the supplement out there, N-acetylcysteine. That's great. You can take that too.
What is
But
it? Now that's another one I haven't heard of. I'm
oh,
getting a lesson here today.
N-acetylcysteine is just the absorbable form of glutathione.
Oh, okay.
So same thing.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And, and so you can supplement your glutathione, but I tell you, you can supercharge your antioxidant by using the Live Longer Labs Carbon 60, and they have
And
it.
it's like it's a pill, right?
Yep, they have it
Capsule?
in a gel cap with black
Okay.
seed oil, and because black seed oil apparently tastes like garbage. And then they also have it with curcumin. So,
Okay.
but I actually prefer the black seed oil.
Okay.
And it is a gel cap. It comes in a jar with 150, designed to last a month, 5 a day. If you're
Have a
super
day.
toxic, they tell you to take up to 10 a day.
Oh,
And
wow.
um, there's some very good success stories with this. My sister, who's a Bowen therapist, had contracted Lyme disease in her 20s, and she's
Oh,
50 now. And then she also has bouts with long COVID. And she was finally at wit's end and decided that she'd listen to her dumb older brother And I put her on a regimen of an oxidative therapy and an antioxidative therapy. And she's been on this for about 3 weeks. And she texted me 3 days ago and she said, I finally got 3 days without taking any pain medicine.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
fantastic.
It's just those two things, an oxidative therapy and an antioxidative therapy. And the key is really the antioxidative therapy, the C60 product. My mom, she's 85 years old. She's been on the two-prong approach for 7 years, hasn't been sick except maybe a minor cold twice when the
Okay.
little old lady she bowls with coughs right in her face. But she's had two knee replacements. The first one she had before she was on C60, the second one she had after she was on C60. And she said that the recovery and the physical therapy and the pain and inflammation were significantly less in that second
Yeah.
knee replacement therapy. And she got that when she was already over 80 years old. And
Wow.
she's healthy as can be now. And as a
So
matter of fact,
I'm going to be buying C60 after this conversation.
this is what it looks like right there, and
Okay.
it's
Yeah. I'm a
uh,
big believer in supplementation. I know that's not like you can't rely on it 100%, but I do take glutathione and I know you're getting very minimal from it. I do believe
well,
in
just make sure it's
like,
in acetylcysteine. Make sure your body can absorb it.
right, right, right.
Because
So,
I mean, a lot of the supplements are horribly formulated, and the only thing that people get from a lot of those supplements is green pea. You see
well,
it
I
coming
haven't
right
gotten
out in the
that.
toilet bowl.
No green pea yet. So,
So then that
hopefully,
means you got a good one. You're absorbing it, and your body's
yeah.
using it. And remember, no one supplement is a magic silver bullet.
No. Oh,
I
no.
mean, it takes you 57 years to get the reflection in the mirror that says you're old and fat.
No.
It's going to
Okay.
take more than a month of one magic thing to get you back to where you want to be.
Yeah.
And it's like you got to listen to that eat half and mostly plants, and
Yeah.
you got to clean up the rest. I mean, because the toxic exposure in our lives drives weight gain and drives aging. And as you age, everything in your body gets less efficient. And so, if you can do one thing, it's get in front of that inflammation.
Yeah.
Because if you control inflammation and you take that out of the equation, the body is designed to heal. And if you take away some of the firefight that it has every day, it's going to do what it's designed to do. And the body knows what needs the critical attention first.
Yeah.
And supplementing what you have with a daily doses of carbon 60 is absolutely life changing in some people. And I can go on with all kinds of
Sure.
get on the website livelongerlabs.com and you will find the customer testimonials. One of the most important ones was a retired physician. Her name was Dr. Loretta Ivory. She had macular degeneration,
Oh,
which
wow.
is oxidative stress.
Yeah.
It's active oxygen species destroying your vision. And she had the picture of her eye at her eye doctor where the guy said, prepare to be blind.
Yeah.
He started using the Live Longer Labs, I think it was coconut oil based carbon 60, and she would use enough designed to last a month. She would use that every Sunday. So a month's worth in a week. Not only did she stop her macular degeneration, but she reversed it. And she
Wow.
has the before and after pictures, and she's happy to talk to people about this
Yeah.
because it's such a huge success story. Because macular degeneration didn't have a treatment.
Right.
It was just,
Right.
you're going to lose your vision and you're going to go blind, and there's nothing we can do about it.
That's
But
amazing.
and the origin of the product was the guys who invented it, Max Champy, in the mountains of Colorado. His mom was starting in the initial stages of dementia. So he found the critical study. It happened in like 2012 out of Paris, where they were feeding these rats carbon 60 right after it was discovered. And the researchers were thinking, okay, we're going to find a toxic level of this. These rats are going to die. This is going to be a quick, no-brainer, slam dunk study. Well, none of the rats died. The lifespan of the rats doubled, and
Wow.
still none of the rats had died. And this Paris
Were they consistently giving them the carbon 60?
every
Oh,
day.
okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And the Paris research team got tired of taking care of the population of rats and ended the study early. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
If it was a rat to human direct exposure with that carbon 60, humans should be able to live 135 years.
I
I mean,
like
that's
that.
yeah.
That is way huge.
Yeah, but what it did is Max took a bunch of it to make sure it didn't kill him, and then he gave it to his mother, and his mother regained full mental capacities, lived with a intact neurosystem for another 8 years. Max
Wow.
actually looked me in the face one day and told me she got so much of being herself back from his product that it began to annoy him again.
That's
But
amazing. So do you know
yeah,
like so I have my father-in-law, he's got the onset of dementia, but he also has diabetes and he just refuses to take care of himself. Like,
he's
just
given up.
refuses. Pardon?
He's given up.
Yeah, he's given up. Yeah, he's just definitely given up. Like so
Yeah,
like
my
I
father-in-law
have these
did that too.
conversations
He
with
stopped walking, started getting in a wheelchair, and then stopped.
well, he's still walking a little bit, but very
I was
it's
in a nursing home, and I'm just like, what happened here? He just
yeah,
gave up. He stopped trying
yeah.
because the 6 inches between your ears is critical to health and well-being.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
if your negative thoughts can kill you just as quick as a bus running over you or a heart attack dropping you to the floor and you're dead before you hit the floor. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to think and be well.
Yeah. Oh, 1000%. I'm a big believer in that. I'm sure you can tell. Like I'm all about living, breathing, speaking, and being an example of like living a healthy lifestyle. Like, and it
Yeah.
takes effort. It does not come easily. Do some days I wake up and I'm not like, I don't want to, we all have bad days, but the
Yeah.
next day I'm going to give myself that bad day. That's okay. But the
Yeah.
next day I'm going to get
You
up.
have
I'm going to
to.
get back on my routine. I'm going to get to the gym. I'm going to eat good. Well, I mean, I eat good pretty much all the time. I very
And if you're
rarely eat.
looking at all of that, and you need to take step one over and over and over and over and
Yep.
over, do it until you can get to step two and step three and step four.
Yeah.
What I love, Deanna, is you have your expensive canaries in your coal mine. The parrots will tell you if there's anything wrong with your environment real
Oh
quick.
God, yeah. And I would feel terribly if I brought anything into this home that would hurt them because they are
Isn't
actually, I
that
never thought I'd be a
amazing?
bird person, but they are very cool. And just knowing that they're so sensitive to things like to
Yeah.
toxic, toxins, I would feel terrible. So I've gotten healthier by having them.
Isn't that awesome? It's like what we do for our fur babies, or in your case, your feather babies.
Yeah, exactly. Our feathered friends. I see here. I have two more questions, and we're gonna start wrapping things up. On your bio here, the intermittent fasting support better health and overall well-being. So I've had a very little conversations around fasting,
Mhm.
and I've done some of it. I actually did a water fast a couple months ago, and I felt great.
How long did
I
you go?
felt, pardon?
How long did you go?
I did 3 or 4 days.
That's awesome. Wow,
Yeah,
you made it.
for
That's
my
that's
for the
the
first
hardest
time.
things ever to do.
Yeah. But
I
so
mean,
water fast, they say you can have coffee with no sugar, none of that, tea,
mhm, mhm.
and I did it and I felt great. I actually lost like 7 pounds and
That's awesome.
I kept the weight off, which was shocking.
Yeah, it's just a little reset. And that's the thing about intermittent fasting. Any amount helps. Even if you pick a time,
Yeah.
6 p.m., and then you don't eat again until you're super hungry the next morning, that'll help you. you
Yeah.
know? And the longer you fast, the better benefits you get. And the key is if you could ever get over 24 hours, then that throws your body into autophagy, where your body starts hunting and killing senescent and zombie cells, which are just resource zaps. And it's the hardest thing ever to do, but if you can manage it, the health benefits are absolutely tremendous.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been reading a lot about that. And so now that we're having this conversation, I might have to do another water fast.
Maybe.
And then I'm going to implement the carbon 60. So I'm going to do
Yeah.
the water fast, then that, and then woo, I'm going to be living to 130.
There you go. Absolutely. And if you do that, then you really need to be healthy. You can't be up in the weights like I have. I'm a big dude. I'm probably in the top 10% of the world population. I'm Dutch from the Friesland Islands in the North Sea. And, there's some Norse or Viking lineage. And those
Okay.
people were just big,
Yeah.
you know. And of course, I was an
Big and
athlete.
strong.
Oh, yeah. And it's just, but I like to eat and I do exercise, but it's one of those things that it takes discipline because I think my biggest problem is I got a huge sweet tooth.
Oh, do you? Okay.
And yeah, sugar is just as addicting as nicotine
Yeah.
or
Yeah, that's true.
methamphetamine or heroin or whatever. Add it to the list.
Yeah.
But you got to cut down, you got to reduce, reuse, replace. And if you could cut down your sugar, you would be amazed at how sweet your body thinks red peppers or
Oh,
carrots really
absolutely.
are. It's just
Absolutely.
small changes, little
Yeah.
steps over time.
Yeah. And with final question before we start saying goodbye. What are telomeres, and
Mhm.
how do they impact our DNA and aging process?
The telomeres are really the kitchen timer of cells. When telomeres
Okay.
run out, the cells stop dividing, they become senescent, they become zombie cells, they become resource
Okay.
sinks. But if the telomeres are long and healthy, then those cells can divide and produce daughter cells that are useful for the organism. And
Okay.
the story about the telomeres, you can get a test. You can go online, buy a telomere test, and you do a little cheek swab and you ship it off, and they measure the length of your telomeres. It gives you a chronological age of your body.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
right when Max was making these products, he had a half a dozen people in and around his area in his lab that did that test before they started taking C60, and then they took C60 for a couple months. They redid the test, and the telomere test people actually said, I think we sent you a bad batch of tests, so I want to resend the test because in everybody's case, their telomeres lengthened and they actually reversed aging of their cells after just 2 months on C.
Yes. We want to do that. Reverse the aging process, reduce inflammation, eat well.
That's it. C60 is a vital part of that process.
Holy cow, I'm sold. That's it. With that, with that being said, Dr. Joe, where can people find you, connect with you, learn more, and you can also link C60 again.
Sure. I can be found at superiortoxicology.com. Superiortoxicology.com. There's a contact form. You can click on that. It goes right to my email. If you're savvy enough and explore the website, my cell phone is right there too. You can call it. I answer my phone whenever I can, or if you leave me a voicemail, I will get back to you. I guarantee it.
Awesome.
So I'm very easy to reach. If you have any questions or anything, I'm happy to answer those questions. And you get carbon 60, you get C60 from livelongerlabs.com, no spaces, livelongerlabs.com. And if you use the coupon code Dr. Joe 15, I believe you get a 15% discount. So DRJOE15. Dr. Joe 15 will get you a discount on that coupon code.
Awesome. I'm going to be definitely utilizing that coupon code. You guys, I'm going to put all those links in the show notes along with the coupon code. You'll also see it if you're watching, you see it here on the screen, a couple of his website and the website to get carbon 60 with the discount code. Do not hesitate to reach out to Dr. Joe if you have more questions in regards to the toxins that are in and around your body. Also, don't hesitate to use that coupon code. Dr. Joe, this is the part of the show where I like to ask for last words of wisdom or advice. What would you like to leave with us today?
Almost the entire world is chronically dehydrated, Deanna. The best thing you can do for yourself is make sure you drink enough water.
Clean
Ditch the
water.
soda, clean water. That's right. Ditch the sugary drinks. Drink enough water, and it'll make a huge difference.
Oh yeah. Big believer in that. Yeah. I mean, doing the water fast changed, like that was amazing. I couldn't believe it. But Dr. Joe, like I could talk to you in like 4 hours. I love this conversation and I love educating my audience on how to live a healthier life because it takes only a couple things to make a dramatic shift in your body and in your life to give you a better quality of life, right? And so I'm a big
Absolutely.
believer in that. I live, breathe. I practice what I preach. Obviously, I'm sure you can tell.
Yep.
And I've just seen some people live lives that weren't so great because they didn't take care of themselves and they didn't listen to advice and that decline is very sad to watch. And so for me, like it really makes me very passionate about keeping myself healthy and giving others the resources to stay healthy themselves. So thank you
Be
very
better
much.
tomorrow than you were today. That's for sure.
That's right. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. We really appreciate you. And I'm excited to start Carbon 60. You guys, this is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free. To live your best life, you must live label free. As always, don't forget to subscribe, follow, rate, review, comment, share, all those good things. And I'll be back soon with more dynamic guests.